All right, so I'm going to share with you the one thing that I never ever do on social media anymore. Oh, okay. So, pretty much all of us are on social media, all the different platforms. Some of us have certain favorites, some of us have other ones. I know a lot of people don't like to go on TikTok. They think China.
China. China. China. China. China. China. China. China. China. China. China.
China is getting all your information and they're going to sell it and do whatever to it. And yeah, it's probably true. But it's really no different than what all of the other social media platforms are doing. Yeah. So trust or not trust one, then you should probably not trust any. As simple as that, really. So at this point, for me at least, I've been on this social media stuff for oh my gosh, I want to say since like 2009, either 2008 or 2009. I'm going to go 2009. I think that was when I joined Facebook, just on like a personal private profile. None of this stuff was going on back then. I don't even think this was a thing back then anyhow. But I joined back then and I've been on ever since. And it's been a love hate relationship all along, just like probably everybody else, right? You love it for connecting with people that are out of state and, family and friends that you don't get to see often, and it had that great intention. And then, of course, it became what it is now, which is just you know, a loony bin, basically a, you know, media based loony bin where everybody gets to say whatever they want with pretty much zero repercussions for the most part, unless you're somebody who is particularly, and there's a lot of people who are particularly sensitive and have struggled greatly with the negativity on here, and I honestly have to say that if you are among those people, like if you can't, and I don't mean this as mean as it sounds, but if you can't take it, you should not be on here. You should not be engaging with people on in the comment section of posts and videos, and you just shouldn't do it. Like if you're not prepared to handle emotionally, intellectually, if you're not prepared to handle comebacks and retorts and just comments, then don't do it. Don't be on any of these platforms. It will just eat away at your mental health. And it's a bad, ugly place if you are not prepared for it. As simple as that. But I know I'm preaching to the choir. You already know all of these things. For the most part, I mean, I see plenty of people. I see plenty of people in the comments of my videos, other people's videos, and they get into these, battles, these, verbal wars, and nobody is actually, these aren't conversations, and this is the part that really has come to me as far as just understanding. It's been for a while now. This has been for a while. Just happen to be talking about it right now because I just happened to read an exchange on one of my videos between two people who were just going back and forth. And one of them, it's always the case. One person, or sometimes it's both, or multiple. But in this particular case, there's a person who comments regularly on my content with extreme malice, not just towards me. I actually shouldn't really say too much directly towards me personally, attacking me. It's just what I represent, basically conservative, Christian, Republican, all of the things that she perceives me as being and that she, aggressively despises. So she regularly makes a comment on, videos every day. Why don't I block her? I know that's the question, right? Just block her. Just block her. Mostly because I don't care that she comments. I don't mind. I think it's probably, in some ways, not every time. A lot of times people get blocked and just removed from from being able to comment or post. And that's typically if they're, threatening or especially abusive or, really, they have to be like really, really bad. She's just like bananas bad. She's just wacko. That's all. And I'm actually fine with that. That comment away, comment on every single one. Please do. But what they don't realize is that that's actually very helpful. Engagements are helpful, whether it's positive or negative. Engagement is helpful to the creator of the content you're commenting on. So, comment to tell me how much you hate me and my content and what I do and what I represent, and go for it. There's lots and lots and lots of videos for you to do that on. So please do. I prefer the nice people and the people who have good things to say, but haters are welcome. Come on. I don't care. Doesn't phase me. And that's, that's kind of the point of what I was just saying, that, you do really have to do have a very thick skin, and you have to be very unfazed by negativity and hate and all of those things. And you have to read the four agreements if you want to be that way. I'm not getting anything out of endorsing that book. There's no collaboration there or anything. I love the book. Oh, actually, wait, I kind of take that back. I do put the affiliate link in the comments or wherever, so that if you buy it, I do get a little something, pennies, basically. But yeah, that's the extent of it. But I love that book. I read it once a year, every January. It's coming up. It's going to be time to read it pretty soon. Just the refresher, just the reminder of all those things that the four agreements say. And, namely being impeccable in your word, and not taking anything personally, trying your best, always trying your best, and never making assumptions. Those are the four agreements. I just put the last two out of order. But those are the four agreements. Super easy, right? Very simple. Very simple. There's nothing complicated conceptually to that. Practicing them, putting them in practice, whole other story. It's a constant process of reminding and remembering and relearning, I guess. So anyhow, so that's all part of that. You just, if you can't tune it out, and if you can't ignore it, you shouldn't be engaging in it. And I generally actually do, like, I'm gonna tell you right now, I actually do kind of discourage um people who do like my content and do what I'm putting out there and agree with me. I do kind of discourage you from, I mean, everybody can do whatever they want. I'm not the boss of you. Don't worry, I know that. Um, I do kind of discourage you though from getting into it with these people, because it's just, I hate to see you wasting your time and your energy, and you getting agitated and angry about it. If you happen to go in, and if you even know which comments I'm talking about, which person I'm talking about, I'm sure she'll love the attention. Um, Again, that's not an encouragement to go after in the comments. I'm telling you flat out, it is 100% pointless, useless to do so. You will do nothing other than waste your time. This is a person, and people like her are people who, they don't want to have intellectual discourse. They don't want to see another side of things. They don't want to have a discussion. They just want to put their opinion and their feelings out there, because those are the most important things to them. How they feel and what they think. That is it. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about anything. They see things in horse blinder, black and white terms, and they don't want to know anything else. And so why would you waste your time with that? There's plenty of times where people who are on the opposite side of you on a topic will engage in a conversation, and it's a great conversation. People walk away either coming to some kind of agreement or simply agreeing to disagree, right? And that's all that happens, and it's great. It's fine. It's usually that's what happens when you're talking to somebody in person, not on the internet, not on social media. And if it's helpful, I'm going to tell you one thing that I don't even bother doing any of this anymore. But when I used to get into it with people on the internet, and have these conversations with them in the comment sections, I would typically, and this is the diffuser and the ender of the conversation, 99.9% of the time, at least in my experience, the ender of the conversation is simply saying, and this is what I would say when I realize that we're just going in a circle and there's no conflict resolution here. I will say, well, it looks like we're going to have to agree to disagree. You and I come from different perspectives, and it doesn't appear by this exchange that either one of us are going to change our minds on this. So I wish you well, and I'm out. Take care. Once in a while, somebody will come back with, "Oh, you're too chicken to fight me. You're too chicken. Yeah, you know I'm right." I don't answer that. Don't answer that. You already know. You know the truth. It doesn't matter if they know truth or not. None of that matters. But so there is the sneaky backdoor way of saying, telling you what that one thing is that I never do anymore. And that is I never argue with people in the comment section. Never ever. I may respond. I may give a response to somebody, but it's usually never more than one response. And it's just usually it's something snarky. Um, something comical. I don't bother insulting them even when they throw like a really rude insult at me. I don't care. They don't phase me. Yeah, I could say anything you want about me. I don't take any of it personally. You know why? I'll tell you why. Because if I were saying something you agreed with and something you liked, you would be saying lovely things to me. You would be telling me how great I am and how wonderful I am. But because I'm telling you something you don't like and you don't agree with and you don't want to hear, and you're an extremist, um, all you do is spew hateful things and target things that you think might hurt my feelings or affect me. That's not a reflection on me. That's a reflection on that person. And that goes for anyone who does that to anyone else. This has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with me. It has to do with their perspective, their big feelings that everyone must know um, everywhere all the time. So it's not a big deal. I don't know who the heck that is. Somebody's coming. I have my phone in front of me too because I wanted to read something and somebody's calling me. I'm just so excited that I remembered to put my phone on silent. That was fabulous. So anyhow, as you can see, well, I mean, I'm recording, so obviously I'm not going to answer the phone, but I generally don't answer the phone if I don't know who it is. So sorry. Not really. I'm not sorry. It's usually spam or something stupid. But anyhow, so I just want to spare you aggravation because I see it, like I said, I see it in my comment section all the damn time. People getting into it with these mental morons is what they are. Uh, and I hate to see people wasting their time and energy. And don't get me wrong, like I said, it's great for me because all the engagement on the posts is helpful to me, algorithm, blah, blah, blah stuff. But I don't care enough about that to want you to sacrifice your um, peace, your sense of peace. You got to protect your peace. That is the biggest thing, I think, in the world when it comes to social media life. You have to, and and personal life too, real life, personal life, same. You have to protect your peace. You really, really do. And the peace of the people in your vicinity, your loved ones, people in your home, all that stuff. So when you argue with people on the internet, gosh, it's just such a waste of time. It's just so absurd. And believe me, I know when you read the things that they say, it's like your head just explodes and it just makes you so angry that anyone could be that ignorant and blind and absurd. But you have to remember what these people are being fed. So I was going to, so here, I'll be honest, I'll throw myself under the bus. I was going to, today, I was going to make a video with, so one of the things that people come on, the haters, trolls, I don't know what you want to call them, come on to my comment sections with, are usually things like, show us the proof, prove it, prove what you're saying is true. And because there were several of them on a particular post, I was like, oh, you know what? You know what? I'm going to make that video. I'm going to make that video and I'm going to shove it right down their throat and show them all of the times and situations where the things that I was saying were proven true. And I started doing my research. I was going to just pull up video and news articles, and they're all there. They're not hard to find. Well, I take that back. They are hard to find if you're looking on Google and your regular search engines. controlled by, mainstream leftist powers that be, I guess. I don't know. And that was one of those circumstances. So I typed in something very specific because there was a specific video that I was looking for of Kamala Harris. It was the Hurricane Ian comment she had made about equity, funds and services being provided to the victims of Hurricane Ian in Florida. And she had made a comment to the effect of, well, it'll be distributed by equity, not by, need, not by whomever was the most affected and hit, simply by equity. So basically she was, and she expounded on it. Everybody got on her about that. It was a big to do. And I found the video. I actually found it and saved it and was ready to make this whole thing with that, among others. But what happened was when I typed that in, that very specific search terms, it came up with probably about, oh my gosh, 50 or so articles and stories from the left disputing it, saying, oh, she was misunderstood. Oh, the right, the extreme right or the radical right is saying that she said this and blah, 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 blah. And that's a lie and they made it up. And just article after article, saying that it was either a false statement or was misunderstood, or that the right was trying to misconstrue her words, and being hateful, and all of that. And then finally, after hitting more results, way, 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 way down there, I was able to find one that had the clip of exactly what she said and all that. So my point being, their search engines, where they get their information, besides getting it from, tabloid news. And by the way, I include Fox and all of that. All of that stuff is pure garbage. Sorry, it's just all of it's garbage. It's tabloid news, and the news is all lowercase. Tabloid, all capital letters. News, lowercase letters. It's not much for news anymore because it's all biased, right? So anyhow, but this is where they get their news. And it is no wonder that they say, I don't see what you're talking about. I can't find any of that. That doesn't exist because I can't find it. Well, one, you're lazy. Two, you don't want to find it. And three, they bury it. They bury it so far down in the search engine feed that, by the time you get to it, you're already moved on to something else. You've already forgotten it. And you've read, and subconsciously you've read so many headlines now, confirming what you think. So you're already, it's what is it? Confirmation bias. Is that what that is? Yeah, I think so. But anyhow, so all of that. So yes, they are infuriating. Yes, they're so irritating and disturbing that there are so many people out there in the population that are being fed and led like sheeps, and leading us all to the slaughter, essentially. And so that's all of that. But point being, people like the one I was talking about in my comment section, it's very clear and very easy to see which ones are so far gone that you can't have a conversation with them. It's not about a conversation. So here is my advice that nobody asked for, but I'm giving it anyway. Spare yourself the aggravation. Don't do it. You put out, I'm not saying keep your mouth shut and don't say anything and just let it go. I am 100% not saying that we should just ignore them in general. I'm saying just ignore them in the comment section. Keep putting out truth. Keep sharing truth. It's out there. It's getting out there. People are seeing it. People are reading it, and minds and hearts are being changed. I see it all the time. People who say that they were, diehard, whatever the case may be, diehard leftists, diehard atheists, so far on the other side. And then there's always a certain something that changes their mind or sparks a change of mind for them. And then they really do start doing the research. So and figuring things out and finding out the truth of things. So what I would say is keep putting truth and all good things out there, and you're reaching someone. You're reaching someone, and that may not feel like it's a lot, one person, but if each of us reach one person, you know the deal. You know how that goes. So, positive things can happen, but only if we keep speaking and not allow them to silence us and to, bury us down at the very far bottom of the search results. Just keep doing it. Keep doing it. Of course, I love for you to share my stuff. That makes me very happy, and I'm so appreciative. And I thank you very, very much for doing that. I see you guys. I always feel terrible that I don't get to enough comments and reactions and things to people who are so kind and gracious to share my content to other people. So here's my huge big fat thank you. If I don't get to thank you personally on social media, not personally in person, but you know what I mean. But thank you. Thank you for doing that. I greatly appreciate it. It's very helpful. And I hope to keep entertaining you. And I guess I'd probably give like one more, since we're here, I might as well give one more blanket answer to a frequent like comment or statement, I guess, that people say on there, that and that's comes from both sides. People who agree with my point of view, and people who don't agree, and they'll say things along the lines of, this isn't funny, this isn't stuff to make jokes about and laugh about and everything. And my response to that is, yes, it is. Yes, it is. Okay. We have so many people out there, so many news commentators, social commentators, giving you the serious news, giving you the serious business. And I do that once in a while. I mean, I do a podcast and we talk about the serious stuff in a serious way. But when I make my videos, that is because, one, first and foremost, we need a break. We need a break to laugh. I need a break from all the seriousness, from all the heaviness, from all the garbage, to just laugh for a couple minutes about everything, basically. And so that's why I make those videos. And the second reason I make those videos in the way that I do, I touch on these uh, um, people and topics. And obviously, this administration is my target for uh, 99% of the parody and comedy stuff that I do. But I do it in that way, one, because I just think it's funny. One, because it makes me laugh. So that's why I do it. And two, it brings it to light in a different way. It brings it to you in a different way, because we do kind of tune out all the news. We tune it out after a while. Like, you hear it and it just, and then you forget it, and you kind of move on to the next thing. And things that shouldn't be ignored or forgotten about get ignored and forgotten about. But if somebody, whether it's me or somebody else, makes a comedy video about it, makes a parody about it, it kind of sticks around a little bit longer. It sticks in your head and it gets into more people's consciousness than it maybe would have otherwise. So, when I'm pointing out, when I make a video like maybe it was the last one I posted, or last, I don't know, couple few back, I post a lot of them. Couple few back, I shared the clip of Kamala Harris saying reduce the population instead of pollution. What a slip that was, right? And so I did a little bit of shtick before I shared the clip, because you have to share the clip a lot of times, because people will be like, she didn't really say that, that didn't happen, because the White House will wash it away and say that she said something else. They've done that many times over with transcripts. You've seen it, I've seen it. If you haven't seen it, it's very easy to find, if you're willing to go past like 50 or so search results. So yeah, so I do it in that way because I just think it gets the information into people's heads in a different way than what we're so saturated with, which is, constant news stream. It's just drones on and on, right? Sometimes, and you miss some of the subtext, I guess, of what's going on. So that's the way I do it. That's probably the way I will always do it for as long as I do this stuff. That's the way I'm going to do it. And for those who don't like it, I don't care. They're watching it. That's the part that always makes me laugh. They'll watch that whole dang video a couple times over just so they can sit there and tell me how much they can't stand me. So and what I put out. So okay. I'm gonna stick with the people who are loving my content and who are so freaking awesome. So all you guys are absolutely the best, and thank you for um thank you for finding me as entertaining as I find myself. I guess. Yeah, that sounded bad. I guess, but that's okay. Hopefully you forgive me. So anyhow, what I need to go and do right now is rip these false eyelashes off my eyes. Man, it had to be a guy who invented those things. They're not, so I did this for a reason. We're closing out here, but I just want to talk about this because they're driving me nuts. I did these today because I notice on my videos when I do my podcast, I notice this is so vain, this is so shallow. Who cares? But I noticed that as much makeup as I put on to do this stuff, with the lights and everything, I get washed out. So I'm like, well, what am I doing wrong here? Because this is a one woman show. There's no team here. It's just me. It's a little old me in my little old studio here, which I'm going to be redecorating soon, but a little bit, nothing crazy. But anyhow, I was like, oh, okay. So the top things were like, well, you need to have like, you got to do the false eyelashes. You don't have to go crazy. It don't have to be like the big crazy caterpillars on your eyes, but just something to give your eyes a little more pop and definition. I'm like, all right, okay, that sounds cool. And wear a darker lipstick. So those were like the two things. There's other stuff too. But these are the two we're talking about for like 1 second. I'm almost done talking about it. But since I brought it up, I have to. Anyhow, so I'm like, all right, well, I'll do the false eyelashes. I've done them before, never liked them, but I forget how much I don't like wearing them. And so I put these monsters on my eyes and immediate agitation because I can feel them. So maybe I'm doing them wrong. I don't know. I mean, whatever. But yeah, so long story long, I can't wait to go rip these right off my face and go back to normal. So yeah, so hopefully they look good on camera. I'll find out in the playback. Like I am looking at myself right now. I don't know. I feel like I don't look like me. I look weird. But we're gonna have to get used to it because I'm gonna try and do this on the regular. So ladies, if you have suggestions and tips for me, how about y'all put them in the comments and help a girl out? Yeah, that'd be cool. All right, so that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about today. Um, so much for hiatus, but yeah, that's all I got. It was great talking to you. See you. I don't know when I'll see you. I'll see you in the next time I decide to run my mouth on stuff. Bye.